Every weeknight begins with responsible, penetrating coverage of today's vital issues. ABC News.
I'm Frank Reynolds in New York. This was the look of the land.
Good evening from ABC News headquarters in Washington. I'm Howard K. Smith.
At the State Department. Secretary of State Rogers. We have ignition.
Hi, this is Rachel Kent reporting for the ABC Evening News. First, our entertainment section. At the recent 46th Annual Academy Awards, a naked man streaked on stage at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion right as David Niven was announcing his award. Mr. Niven, obviously surprised by this shocking scene, came up with a very quick, witty response. See for yourself.
Now, to divulge the contents of this year's most important envelope is a very important contributor to world entertainment, and someone, quite likely... Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen. But isn't it fascinating that... Fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings.
Shrieking is one of the newest crazes that we've seen a lot of lately. It's sweeping college campuses nationwide. It's just a little harmless fun. No one's really getting too upset over it. Roller disco is also one of the newest crazes that we've seen lately. Here's a viewer sent in video showing you just how fun it really is.
In this man's backyard, here to talk with you guys today about being a hippie. Where are you from, sir?
San Francisco, man.
California?
Yes.
And what made you want to be a hippie?
The war, man. The war.
Interesting. So are you into the new disco fad?
Oh, man. The change, man. Not cool.
Then what do you do on the weekends?
Stay mellow.
That's pretty interesting. What are your plans for the future?
Stay mellow, man. Just stay mellow.
All right, well, here you have it from one hippie.
Now a word from our sponsors.
We've been going together for 3 years now. So, Charlotte, will you be my... My... Oh, my...
Gorgeous car. What is it?
It's a new Dodge Charger 500.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's the optional Hertz shifter.
Elliot?
Yeah.
Hey, where are the headlights?
They're hidden where the bumper loops around the grill.
Hey, these are new high backs, see?
Yeah. See how nice they fit?
My name's Sheila. What's yours?
Elliot?
That's a cute name. Bet it really rides smooth. Huh, El?
Why don't don't we find out?
Elliot!
1970 Charger 500. If you can cope with a whole new image, you could be Dodge material.
I get hot and thirsty riding a skateboard. Me too. This is a job for Kool-Aid. Hey, Kool-Aid!
Oh, yeah. Kool-Aid's here, bringing you fun. Kool-Aid's got thirst on the run. Get a big, wide, happy ear to hear Kool-Aid smile.
Tastes great. Our friend's cool. Our friend's Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid brand soft drink mix.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for the Summer Olympic Games in track and field. Look for Madeline Manning Jackson, gold medal winner, 72 Olympics. Arkansas's Earl Bell learned to pole vault in his backyard, held a world record. In the broad jump, the 72 Olympic gold medal winner, Randy Williams. In the hurdle, South Carolina's Charles Foster, America's top hope for gold. The Summer Olympic Games, up close and personal, the ABC way.
As you can just see from that ABC promo, all of you, I'm sure, have probably seen it before, and all of you are aware that the Summer Olympic Games in Munich, Germany is going on right now. We do have some very sad news from Munich, Germany, though. A Palestinian terrorist group invaded the barracks of the Israeli Olympic team and took them hostage. The Palestinians demanded that a bus and 2 helicopters take them to the airport. The Germans tried to stop the Palestinians at the airport, and a gunfight resulted. One of the Palestinian members threw a grenade into one of the helicopters, killing all of the hostages. It's always a very sad moment when innocent bystanders, especially Olympic athletes, are killed in acts of war like this. Terrorism. Here's a video from our ABC company giving you more information on the attack.
September 5th, 1972. The world was shocked when 11 Israeli athletes were murdered by Arab terrorists at the Munich Olympics. A radical group called Black September had infiltrated the area where 10,000 athletes were staying. At 5 a.m., the terrorists broke into the Israeli dorm. A coach managed to sound an alarm, allowing 18 team members to escape. But 2 athletes were shot and 9 were taken hostage. By 9 in the morning, the Olympic Village was surrounded by hundreds of police officers and 24 sharpshooters. At noon, the extremist group announced their demands: the release of 100 Palestinians from Israeli jails and their own safe passage out of West Germany. Negotiations ensued, but Israel would not meet the terrorist demands. The terrorists and their hostages were flown by helicopter to a West German air base, where a plane was waiting. At the airport, German sharpshooters opened fire. The terrorists fired back, and all 9 Israeli hostages were killed, along with 4 of the 7 terrorists and a German police officer. 4 of the victims burned to death when a terrorist threw a grenade and set fire to their helicopter. The games were suspended for a time, but then continued after a memorial service for the victims. The German police received heavy criticism for the lack of security.
We showed the Israelis this flag, and they agreed to it in a lot of visits. But maybe neither they nor we took into consideration this event which arrived, which came from outside the Olympic Village.
In Israel, thousands of mourners, including fellow athletes, attended the funerals. In reprisal raids, Israel dropped bombs on Palestinian guerrilla bases. Officials tried to explain why the tragedy occurred.
First, there was the decision of the Israeli government not to give in to the demands of the terrorists under any circumstances. And second, the decision of the German government not to let the perpetrators and hostages leave the country. I would emphasize that I consider both decisions to be right.
The Arab terrorist attack on the Israeli athletes on September 5th, 1972 was the darkest day in Olympic history. It was ironic and tragic that an event with the sole purpose of celebrating brotherhood and athletic excellence would be the stage for a bloody terrorist act. Sadly, it showed us how far mankind still had to go to achieve true peace and unity.
Such a sad day in Olympic history. Let's please take a moment of silence for the families of these people, and please keep them in your prayers. Thank you. In other news, a peace march was held in order to protest the Vietnam War. Take a look here at all the anti-war protesters and how they're handling this situation.
Anti-war demonstrators protest U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War in mass marches, rallies, and demonstrations. Central Park is the starting point for the parade to the UN building. The estimated 125,000 Manhattan marchers include students, housewives, beatnik poets, doctors, businessmen, teachers, priests, and nuns. Makeup and costumes were bizarre. Before the parade, mass draft card burning was urged. Demonstrators claimed 200 cards were burned, but no accurate count could be determined. Reporters and onlookers were jostled away on purpose. Although mostly peaceful, shouted confrontations were frequent and fiery during the course of the march. The anti-war marchers were picketed by anti-war marchers who were hawkish toward the parading doves.
As you all may have recently heard, President Nixon is undergoing scrutiny right now for the so-called Watergate scandal, where 7 men were found breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters. These 7 men were found to be related directly or indirectly to someone in Nixon's private staff. During this re-election, Nixon won against his Democratic candidate, but he is still undergoing great political pressure for this. Here's his speech right now on his opinion.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
A very powerful speech from President Nixon, his "I am not a crook" speech. We have a very special viewer sent in video of the Kent State tragedy. May 4th in Kent, Ohio. We are at war with Vietnam. We should not be fighting our own people, especially over something so small as a protest. Unarmed protesters. The Ohio National Guard was wrong in this event. Here's the viewer sent in video.